Well, after 1 year and a lot of hard work, some crumbling buildings around the capital city are getting fixed.
That's right. Last May, our Houses from Hell investigation exposed a problem with rundown homes throughout Topeka. We've kept our focus on the problem. 49 News community reporter Liz Zamora is here to show us what has changed.
Well, Ben and Sophia, for a year I've tracked down the progress of those houses from hell, and I found some success stories and some real messes, but there's still a lot that needs to be done and roadblocks that stand in the way.
Anybody here?
Last May, we followed Codes Inspector Don Carey as he checked out a vacant house at 1603 Southwest Western. The brush had grown up all around the home and the front porch collapsed. A lot's changed since then. The house was sold at auctions and crews have been fixing it up. The first thing to go was the porch.
They're putting on a new roof and they're fixed the porch up nice and cut down all the trees. So it's really making the neighborhood look much better, and I'm pleased.
Central Park residents Don Perkins and Don Gigas are both actively involved in the Neighborhood Improvement Association. They have seen a huge improvement in Central Park in the past year.
I see people taking a bit more pride in the neighborhood. We have less debris in the neighborhood. Seems as though people are trying to maintain their yards a little better.
Our investigation showed there were at least 6 abandoned properties in Central Park. 1 year later, we went back to see what's happened to the neighborhood. This house at 1519 Southwest Tyler has been torn down by the city.
The coverage by 49 has been a tremendous asset to us, and I think that the people that live here are just getting more involved.
Both agree there's more work that needs to be done. Neighbors say these 2 houses have sat empty for nearly 20 years. These apartments were bought by Bob West back in July. West says there's been work done on the electrical system, roof, and windows, but vandals continue to destroy progress being made. West says it'll be at least another 6 months before the inside will be done.
There's a car parked on the dirt, which is a code violation.
Last September, members of the Codes Department took neighbors and council members on tours throughout the capital city. They noted city code violations and recognized several of our houses and buildings from hell, including this building at 714 Southwest 7th Street. We noticed the door to the apartment building had been busted open. We went back again this week, and once again, the door was wide open. Code inspectors say they can't board up the door without a search warrant from a district judge. That could take weeks. The city is trying a new process where judges meet with the property owners as well as code enforcement officers to help clear up some of these property code violations, and they do it here in the city's Holiday building. Administrators say the process is working pretty well. That is, when the owners show up. The owner of this building was a no-show. The judge gave the city 30 days to find the owner of the building and Infinity Investments. Last known possible whereabouts? Somewhere in Somalia. Code Inspector Dennis Boyle says that makes it very hard for him to do his job.
There's nothing to make the guy paint his house. If he doesn't show up when he's subpoenaed to show up for his hearing, if he doesn't show up, a bench warrant is issued for his arrest. That still doesn't get the house cleaned up or fixed.
We also featured this building at 634 Southwest Taylor during our Buildings from Hell investigation last May. It's still empty. Code enforcement now has 30 days from the April 21st hearing to track down the owner, who is believed to be sitting in jail in Montrose, California. These 3 houses at 2425 Southeast California have sat empty for years. The trees and brush have practically taken them over. The owner didn't show up for the hearing, but he could be headed for prosecution in municipal court.
A lot of times these things just drag on like this for months or years, if you want to say years, I guess. And it really gets frustrating because there's really no closure to it sometimes.
Now, since our first investigation, the city has changed how it tackles code violations. On Sunday, watch as I go along with a veteran code inspector, and we investigate why it takes so long to get some of these code violations resolved.
Well, a lot of interesting stuff in there. Thanks a lot, Liz.
Very interesting. Thanks, Liz.
Thank you.